finally we're at war number 10, and I'm coming off 2 wars where I died twice in both of them, so here I'm like, okay, I really need this one to go well, or my morale is going to get even lower. And we're taking a team of Photon, a Mega Sentinel, and Tigra. This is one of the first times I've ever actually used Photon. I've used her in BGs just a couple times, but I've really not played much of her. But I did know a few things, like she can definitely take this Rintrah on node 1. And yeah, so she's really good for Rintrah because when duped, she's immune to neutralize, so he basically never gains any mystical charges ever. So you can freely just hit him in the corner like he's nothing. We have the Sunder to remove his crit resist, and then we're just going to start doing so much damage once we get into our Pure Light, which we will right here when I heavy cancel into my SP2. And we have a bunch of Despair just to keep up with personal space regen, so that's pretty much just a joke. We are going to not try to counter Cal's special 2 the fancy way by dashing in, just because I haven't practiced it enough to do it correctly. But anyway, we are just going to try to kill him as fast as possible. Countering his special attacks will give us a pause on our Pure Light form, which is nice, but I'm not going to ever try to counter a special attack like that special 2. That feels a little risky. And so yeah, we're just finishing him off with basic attacks. It's obviously a big Cal, so it does take a little while, but we get him down before our Pure Light form runs out, so we have a few extra charges going into the next fight. And now we have Stryfe on node 10. I was a little bit worried about this fight because Omega Sentinel doesn't do the best with Masochism, but it is only a rank 4 Stryfe, so I figured he'd die pretty fast. I'm using the tracking pre-fight as this is the one I'm going to stick to most of the fight, because then we can hit Stryfe after he throws his SP1. We do need to trigger Masochism so we can get that tracking debuff like we do right there, and now we just want to push him to SP1 and let him throw it, and we can hit him just like that while the tracking debuff is active. I went for a bad intercept there, but our armor ups made me take barely any damage. We're going to let the Incinerates get eaten up by Masochism. I did mess up a little bit early in this fight, but it really goes pretty well. You'll see at the end. But anyway, yeah, we can dex his SP1 pretty easily, even without the taunt. It's just, obviously I want the taunt anyway, just in case. So we do it like that. Stryfe is honestly one of the easiest tactic defenders this meta. If you can bring a miss counter, he's an absolute joke, because that SP1 is one of the easier dexes out of the tactic fights. And I'm pretty sure at this point in the fight, I'm just spamming SP1s and 5-hit comboing him to death, because I want to keep those tracking as fresh as possible. He keeps throwing random light attacks, which is really annoying, but whatever, he's about to die, so yeah, mainly that fight just went really well because it's a rank 4 Stryfe. He can't really do that much damage to me. Anyway, next up we're moving into section 2, where we're going to fight a Hulkling on node 19. Absolute joke of a Tigra fight, as long as I know how to counter his SP1. Absolute easy fight. We have Despair to counter his regen if we ever triggered that. We have the Neutralize to prevent all of his buffs. It's really easy. We just phase that last of the SP1. I think I'm going to dash in immediately and just throw the SP2. We don't even have that many ruptures, and it's going to almost kill him. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. We just throw the SP1 and that does it. So that was literally 26 seconds. Yeah, so Hulkling on path 1. Just absolute Tigra food. Anyway, okay, so if you guys know me, you know how much I love this fight, because I have never soloed it. Not once. This is the 4th time I've seen it and never soloed it before. But this time it's a little different because I'm using a Mega Sentinel. 2 times I used Moondragon. The last time I fought I used OS and almost got the solo. But this time it is a rank 3 7-star Photon, which you'd think would be scarier. But this is actually easier because of the fact that this Photon is unduped, meaning I'm taking much less block damage. So actually I think this is an easier, even though she's a larger Photon, I think she's easier than a duped one, because I can block special attacks and take a lot less damage than if she was duped. So either way, we have to take this fight slow because we can't dex her special attacks while she's in Pure Light, and she has a lot of energy resist, so we're not hitting as hard as we'd like to, but we can still do a decent amount of damage. And so, yeah, we're going to save the incinerates if we can. They're definitely taking for like half as much as they normally would, but it's so weird how some AI, when you're using OS, just has random light attacks out of nowhere. Luckily, I didn't really get punished for it ever, but the goal right here is just keep our tracking up so we can parry if we need to. The heal block would have been nice. I probably should have been keeping that up a bit more, but it's alright. We're going to throw the SP2 and hope she throws her SP1 right after while the taunt is still up. And she does, luckily, so that's nice of her. We have some energy resist from our Sig ability, which does help a lot. And we have Despair with the amount of debuffs we have. I should have thrown an SP1 there, refresh my tracking. I think I'm going to do it after I do a combo here. No, I'm just going to 4th light attack. Yeah, there's the SP1. Alright, so I did throw it at least. But, yeah, as long as she's throwing her special attacks while taunted, it's really not much of an issue as long as I know when I can't dex it. And, I can dex it when she's in pure light form, so. Here my damage is falling off, so I have to worry about that a little bit, but we get an intercept, we have the taunt now, and she's basically dead at this point. I'd have to really mess up, like eat an SP1 for the fight to be lost at this point. We're just going to throw an SP1 here and hope it kills. It does not, so we just try to anti-bait a special attack. If she threw a special attack, I legitimately might have died. But whatever, because she didn't. So, yay, we got the solo. I was so happy after this, man. It only took 3 times of dying to her that I finally got it to work. If she was duped, that might have been a death. I'm not sure. It's just such a tricky placement for almost any person, just because of the block damage you take. But whatever, OS got it done. I finally got the solo. I don't know if you guys are hearing a lot of beeping in my house. I'm sorry about that. Just random alarm things. Anyway, don't worry about it. We're just fighting this Node 37 thing now, which I feel like I've fought like 6 wars in a row. This is honestly ridiculous how many times I've seen this placement. And Tigra mauls it just the same. We are going to go for an SP2 here. Does a lot of damage. He has a lot of physical resist, so she's hitting hard. I mean, less hard than normal. However, she still chugs along really easily and prevents the regen with the neutralize and with despair if it actually does proc. So we don't have to worry about that pretty much ever. And that thing is dead. I fought like rank 5 ascended things on that node, and it's really easy still. Now I'm just waiting for my buddy to use a little energy, and then I move on to this node 40 Gorr, which is different than most Gorrs I've been fighting. I've seen a lot of Gorrs on node 42. This is a different placement, but it's still like, okay, I think I can do this. It's going to be a bit more inconvenient that I'm going to have power drain happening a lot, especially when mainly only when I trigger Dex, actually. So that is annoying, but it's alright. It's still Tigra versus Gorr. The matchup is usually pretty easy. I think this is... I'm not sure if this is a better placement than... It probably is a better placement than 42, because I've seen Kushala wreck this fight as well. I've seen Werewolf wreck this fight as well. But I think at least Kushala would definitely be having a harder time on this fight than against 42. I've seen an alliance mate of mine take this Gorr on 42 in like 50 seconds really fast, so either way. We're just trying to get this Gorr to cooperate, but I get caught on a dashback, and luckily he does not use a medium attack, or else I honestly could have died if he used a medium attack. But luckily he was gracious to me, so that actually was probably a lucky moment. Yeah, it's just so annoying when they catch me on dashbacks. Like, I'm just trying to bait a special, man, and you just want to dash at me. Whatever. Either way, we lost my senses, so I'm actually kind of freaking out here, but we get the blue one back, which is actually the one I would want first, so I can start ramping up my special attacks again. And we're going to Striker Intercept, I think. Yeah, I did trigger Dex, though, which does ruin my life a little bit, but it's fine. We got a bar of power back really fast, and then we lost it really fast, but... Whatever, we're just trying to finish him. I was a little scared here, but no, we got the job done. And I don't have to heal Tigra up because that was her last fight. So, we're fine. Okay, last fight of the war is against this Chavez on node 45. There's a funny thing about this fight. I actually asked DLL, if you don't know, DLL is the person who designed Photon, if she could take this matchup. He said she could. and that inequity would help a lot during the shock phase, and so it was definitely a fight I could do. What I didn't tell him is that before I started this war, I did not own inequity, so I didn't have the heart to tell him, yeah, I don't own that mastery, so I just didn't. And then what I decided to do is I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy it. So now I have 2 out of 3 inequity, which yeah, cool, whatever. I am gonna accidentally go to SP3 here. That's annoying, but it is what it is. I couldn't really stun Chavez because of Conflictor that much. There were definitely opportunities when I could have done it, but I just opted to not ever do it. But anyway, we did an SP3, which I didn't want to do, but it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. SP2 wouldn't have been that much better. We do have to deal with her power gain because she did throw a random heavy attack, as Chavez tends to do, but it's not that big a deal. We are just going to go for an SP1 now, and we have the shock phase we have to deal with, but I do have inequity kicking in, my fresh inequity kicking in, and yeah, we're just chugging along at this point, trying to get her to throw her special ones as much as possible, and not throw special, not throw heavy attacks as much as possible. She still does, but that's just Chavez for you. We're just baiting her special attack. She doesn't feel like throwing it. She finally does, and we counter it like that. We need her to throw it again. She throws another heavy attack. I'm like, okay, I need to get out of this corner. Can you please cooperate? Thank you for throwing that special attack. And so Mystic Dispersion is actually really annoying here too, because she just keeps getting more bars of power to spam, and I did get hit by that one. Luckily it didn't crit, or else I would have hurt a lot more. I am a little bit scared because now my ramp is gone and she's still got a lot of health left, but we're getting back to our pure light form as fast as we can, just baiting special ones in the process. She finally has no dimensions, so she throws the SP1, and yeah, so now I'm feeling a little better because she doesn't have any power gain. I probably should have triggered my pure light by dashing back, but I'm pretty sure the special 2 was almost going to kill her anyway, so it didn't even matter. Yeah, we kill her with a combo right after our striker. So anyway, we got the fight done. I'm not entirely sure if I needed an equity, but it definitely helped out, keeping my health up a little bit. And yeah, that is my War 10. I got all solos, so I'm really happy with that. After those 2 really rough wars, I'm glad it ended well. We did win the war by defender diversity, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it was honestly really close, and so that's really nice to get that win. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.